G'day and welcome. Thanks for joining me again. We're looking at importing CAD files from other CAD packages into the bSuite workspace and then machining those up. So we'll go through a few things in this video. First off, how to import things, clean up your geometry, and then make the piece. And that'll enable you to have that geometry there on your piece ready for machining when you're ready to do that. You can look back at some of the other videos and have a look at how to set up that machining and achieve those machining outcomes. So let's assume that you've got a CAD drawing that's been created in some other package, AutoCAD, SketchUp, and any other CAD package that you like to use. When you save it from that, just make sure you save it as a version of the file that is older than the BSE that you are using. So we're using a 2018 published version of bSuite. So long as we're saving it as a file type that's older than that, it should be able to understand it. It's pretty good at that, understanding that kind of stuff. So we've got a new file open. We're not going to open that drawing into it. We're going to use this import function here to import that CAD data, the geometry, from our other source. So I've got a whole bunch of things here that I've been working with, but I might use this one. So you select that file and it should give you a preview over here in that little preview window. And if you just hit the import button, that will bring that file in for you there. So you can see I've got that there and I can bring that up into the middle of my window to see what I'm working on. So at the moment, that's just geometry. We need to possibly have a go at cleaning that up first. So I don't know how good your geometry is when it comes in, but what I usually do is just go through a few modifications to make sure it's going to be nice and neat when I start using it. So first things first, select all of that geometry, go to the modify toolbox over here, and we'll start off by aligning all of those Z levels. So this is a 2D drawing. If you're doing 3D, obviously you're not going to muck around with your Z heights, but in this case, I'm going to set all of my vertices to 0 as the Z position. So you click on all vertices, go up to the, make sure that's on 0 and just go OK. And that'll just align the whole thing with Z levels of 0. Select the whole lot again. Okay, so you can Control A that to select the whole lot. And in this one here where you've got divided intersections, it also has this one which looks a little bit like a Q where you can eliminate any overlap. So if you've had a few little whoopses in your drawing, it's certainly worth eliminating those overlaps at this point. Otherwise, they're going to create machining dramas for you later on. And the only other thing you can do, I don't think I need to do it with this one, but it's always worth having a go. Just select all your geometry and just make sure that's joined where you want it to be joined. Now, in this case, I really only want to join these bits here. I'd like to keep these two are separate. So I'll hit the join icon here, which is the 3 rings, and I'll accept the default joining methodology. And now I should have all of that nicely joined up. So now we're ready to go and to import that into, to create a piece of material that we can then work on and do your normal machining. So you select all the geometry, click on this piece icon over on the right-hand side here in the timeline area. So click on the piece icon, brings you up this window. Okay, and you hit the green plus sign here, and that will add all of that geometry to your finished piece. So we add the geometry that we've selected, and you can see now it's created a rectangular piece, a bounding box for the piece that will fit all of the geometry that you've created inside it. Set the thickness that you want in here. In this case, I'm going to make this out of 16mm chipboard. So I'll set that to 16. Choose your origin. We might put that on the front of the machine. And look, if you want some excess around the outside of your material, you can put that in here as well, but I'll just go straight with that. So once I'm happy with how that's looking, I go OK. And there we go. I've got my geometry sitting there at a Z level of 0, nicely joined up into individual little pieces, ready to go for machining. Then you can continue on to machine that like you would any other piece of geometry. All right, there we go. Geometry, all good, ready to go. Easy enough to do, and it will tackle most geometry that you can save out there. So just for a quick recap with the process, start off with a new file and use the import function to bring that geometry into your bSE workspace. Once you've got it there, select it all, clean it up by aligning the Z levels, eliminating the overlaps and joining the continuous geometry together. And then you can make a piece, select all the geometry and use the green plus sign to add it to the piece. All right, thanks for joining us today. Good luck with your machining.